Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Anna. Welcome in flower making tutorial. Today I will be making these poinsettias. They are a little bit different than the poinsettias what you probably have seen, but why not being different? Why not stretch the imagination and create something different? So these are poinsettias I will be making today, one larger one and one smaller one. Let me tell you about the products what I will be using. So of course I will be using Lady E Design dies, Poinsettia number 2. And for my poinsettia I will be using second size of the die from this set and the smallest one. And for each poinsettia you will need 3 layers of desired paper. I will be using the Arteza drawing pad paper. This one is 130 GSM, which is really good paper to make flowers. So I have my layers cut out ready, of course using that Arteza paper, and I will be coloring a little bit different today. I will be using gelatos because usually I work in with inks, archival inks or distress inks or oxides, but today I'm challenging myself and I will be using gelatos. Gelatos are very nice pigmented crayons and they also water soluble. So I'm just applying a bit of a pigment on my sponge and I'm going directly and smudging on my layers. My sponges I think I probably cut out a little bit too small and it's a bit difficult for me to apply the pigment on my layers, but that's no big issue. You can just override it and use blending tool or something else what you have on hand, or just simply cut bigger sponges what I've done. So I'm applying the pigment on the top layer only. Mainly when I'm applying pink pigment from my gelato, I'm concentrating in the center of my layer, and also I'm smudging on 1.5 of the petal. So I'm going quite irregular here. I don't have any particular pattern to follow. I'm just relaxing and going with my pigment here and there, here and there. You will have a bit of a close-up how it looks and how it's actually layered the colors when the poinsettias are actually finished. So I've done the pink one. Now I'm moving on to the gold one. And with the gold one, I'm mainly going on the edges of the petals and just a little bit in the between of the petals as well. And I'm not very precise with adding the color onto my layers. I'm kind of like going here and there again. Basically, I don't want to have a full coverage of my layers. I want a white paper picking through between all those colors. And I think this is all the funky about those flowers because they have a nice transition between colored and uncolored areas. Now, by all means, if you want to cover the whole layers of your dies elements, then by all means you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just I want to have those maybe in a bit of like a, let's say, ombre effect. Okay, so once I finish the gelato coloring part, I'm moving on to the next step, and my next step it will be to working with my old towel, and I'm just applying my layers upside down on the towel, and I'm spraying a bit of water on each layer. Each layer I'm spritzing just once and leaving for a few seconds for the paper to start absorbing water. When the paper starts absorbing water, it starts curling up, and this is the moment where you can start and shape your petals. And for that, I'm using my embossing tools, and I will be working with those sizes of the balls. So I'm just removing the excess of the water by just dabbing off with the towel and just pressing once on each petal like so. once my petals are shaped, I'm turning my layers and I'm pressing once in the center just to lift my petals up. So now I'm giving a quick blow to my layers. You can leave them on air dry, it's entirely up to you. Because I'm recording this video, I went and dried them using my heat tool just for this purpose, for the recording. So now I will poke the hole in the center of my layers, and that way it will be easy for me to pull the stamens. You don't have to do this step. You can directly use a wire and poke through the layer. It's entirely up to you. This way is easy for me to work. Once I have a hole in the center of my layers, it is easier for me to pull my stamens. Okay, so I'm poking the hole in the center on 2 layers only. The third one I'm leaving without hole. Now I'm bringing my stamens and I am working with the stamens from 14 Craft Bar. I will link you their shop in the description box below if you fancy any shopping. They have loads of different varieties of stamens available. So for my larger poinsettia, I'm using 5 stamens, 3 pink and 2 gold. So I'm just even them up and attaching them on the wire like so, and I'm bringing my first layer. I'm starting with a larger poinsettia. Okay, so I'm pushing my stamens through. Now be careful with pulling the stamens through your paper layers. Paper is not as stretchy and flexible as the formirin, so be gentle, don't rip your layers apart. So I'm applying a little bit of a glue and just pushing my stamens down and squashing at the bottom to lift my petals, and that way I'm creating a nice shape for my poinsettias. Now I'm bringing the middle layer, and before you seal the layers, just make sure you position your petals so they're not overlapping, just to add them a bit of a round shape. And of course I'm adding a bit of a hot glue between the layers to seal them. Now I will cut the excess of my stamens like so, and will bring my third layer. So before I will add the glue, I'm just checking which way my petals will be facing. So I'm adding a bit of a glue and applying third layer, just holding a little bit, cooling down, and my poinsettias are good to go. Now the last step what I'm going, I'm squashing, I'm just pinching the ends of my petals like so. So they will be quite pointy, and this is what I'm aiming in those poinsettias in this tutorial. Okay. You can pinch the end of the petals once you seal all the layers, or you can do that while you're working along on each layer. And this is what I will show you while I will be working on the smaller poinsettia. So whichever easier way for yourself, then by all means you can choose whatever is easy for you. If you're wanting to pinch the petals at the end when it's already finished, or if you're wanting to do that step by step while you're working on each layer. So I've got my stamens on the wire. I'm bringing my first layer and again applying a small amount of the glue and pushing my stamens down and squashing a little bit at the bottom to lift my petals up. And now I'm pinching the end of the petals just to add them a bit of a like a pointy look. Okay, so I'm bringing my middle layer and again I'm adding a bit of a glue between the layers just to seal them. There we go. And again I'm repeating the same process by pinching the end of the petals just to make them a bit more pointy. So I'm cutting the excess of my stamens and bringing my third layer, just checking the position of the petals, which way they will be facing, adding a bit of a glue and there we go. My poinsettias are ready. And then I'm going back and pinching the petals like so. Now you can leave your poinsettias at this point as they are, or you can just go further and add a bit of a glitter. You can add glitter by sticking with gel medium or any other glue what dries clear. This time I went and add a bit of a glossy accent, and then I will sprinkle the glitter on top. I'm working with this very fine glitter. This one is from the Works. I really like this glitter. My jar is nearly empty, so I will have to look around for some good glitter, what I will be using for my further flower making tutorials. And of course, once I find the good one, I definitely will share the ideas with you, what is good to have on hand. So I'm repeating the same process on my little poinsettia, adding a bit of a glue here and there, and then sprinkle the glitter on top. Dab off the excess of the glitter. I'm using tweezers just to hold my poinsettia, and there we go. We have it. So this is how it looks. Let me bring the little one for you as well. I hope you like them. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. You know I like to keep things simple, so it is quite easy and simple to follow. And I hope you will be able to grab your dies, get paper, gelatos, stamens, a bit of a glue glitter, and create the flowers with me. So this is the whole bunch of my poinsettia. So just to recap, I was working with Lady E Design Dies Poinsettia number 2 and Arteza drawing pad paper 130 GSM. That's everything for me today. Thank you so much for stopping by, and till the next time, my dear friends. Bye for now.